let's take a closer look. This is really nicely milled, and this is one solid piece of aircraft grade aluminum. Don't see any blemishes on the surface at all, and it's just a very nice design here. Very stylish cuts rather than just a plain arch there. There is a logo that is debossed along the top on both of them. And one nice feature here is, notice, is these are Torx screws, not just regular hex screws. So this will allow you much greater ability to torque down the screws to make a much more solid and stable clamp down on your scope tube here. And also, it has a recoil lug on the back, so this will fit onto your Picatinny rail, or depending on if you have a Weaver rail, this should also fit on, though you won't have as many adjustment ability to adjust it, but whatever, as long as you have a crossbar, a cross cut on your rail, that is should fit on there. But this allows it to be much more stable with high caliber rifles, high recoil rifles, having this lug, so you don't have to worry at all about it sliding forward and back, even when it's torqued down on these clamps. And also, that's the reason why you'd want to get an offset mount like this, because this allows you to back away your scope. If you have a long eye relief scope, which you'd want for a high recoil rifle, you want as much eye relief so you don't get scope bite. So that's why you often need to get an offset mount, just because there's depending on your rifle, obviously, and your handguard, you may not have that much rail space. So you sometimes, I found that depending on the scope, I need to push the scope further forward, depending on the rifle. So that's what you need, an offset cantilever type of mount like this. And overall, I think this looks quite nice. Quite pleased for the price. And I've had higher end scope mounts by Varner and Loophole, but from my own testing, these things are pretty well trued in terms of if you really don't need to lap it unless you're like really super anal about it. But almost all modern, especially this is like modern scope mounts and scope rings, they're all CNC'd, so unless there's some major mistake at the factory or a drop during shipment, these things are much better than the old school hand milled scope rings, so why spend more money than you need to? Before we wrap things up and you jump off to that next video, I want to ask you a small favor. Please hit that like, subscribe, and the notification bell buttons. Thanks again for watching. Moondog, out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.